You ever wonder what makes one business a runaway success while another one just flops? It can feel like this big unsolved mystery, right? Well, today, we're going to solve it together. Let's dive right in.
I mean, think about it for a second. You've seen this in your own neighborhood, for sure. There's one spot with a line stretching out the door, and then right next to it, another place that's practically a ghost town. They might even be selling pretty similar stuff. So what is really going on there?
You know, the secret isn't hidden away in some fancy cookbook. It's not always about having the absolute best food, either. The businesses that really truly thrive are the ones that have cracked the code of their customers. They figured out what people want, sometimes even before the people themselves know it.
Okay, so let's get our detective hats on. To solve this mystery, we need to hunt for clues. And the single most important tool in our detective kit is something called market research. This is how we begin to turn all those little bits of information into loyal, happy customers.
Now, I know, market research sounds a little academic, doesn't it? But really, all it means is you stop guessing. It's just an organized way of asking the right questions, like, what do people actually want to eat around here? How much are they cool with paying for it? And hey, who else is out there doing the same thing? It's not a crystal ball, but it's the next best thing, a compass that points you towards the facts.
And businesses grab these facts in two main ways. On one side, you've got primary research. That's when you go out and gather brand new information all on your own. On the other side, there's secondary research, which is kind of like hitting the library. You're digging through info that someone else already put together. The really smart companies, they use a mix of both.
But here's the thing. Just collecting a mountain of data is only the first step. The real magic, the actual secret ingredient, is turning that data into insights. See, customer insight isn't about what people are doing, it's about why they're doing it. It's that hidden motivation, that gut feeling, the real reason they make a purchase. And once you understand the why, man, you can build a seriously deep connection.
And check this out. It shows the difference perfectly. The data just tells us a simple fact. Students are buying snacks during their breaks. Okay, great. But the insight, that's the golden nugget, is that they value speed, a good price, and food that'll actually fill them up. Now that is something you can build a whole menu on.
So once you've started to figure out the why, you've got to figure out the who. And here's a huge mistake a lot of people make, trying to be everything to everybody. It just doesn't work. The smartest businesses out there, they're not just shouting into the wind. They're having a direct conversation with a very specific group of people. And figuring out who that group is, well, that's our next big clue.
So how do they do it? Through this process called segmentation. It's basically about slicing up the big, broad market into smaller, much more manageable chunks. They look at things like demographics, age, income, and geographics, like where people live. But then they go deeper into psychographics. What are their values, their lifestyles, and even their behavior, like what they typically buy?
And this kind of focus changes everything. It's common sense, right? You're not going to market a big, hearty lunch to a teenager who's just looking for a quick after-school snack. By figuring out exactly who your ideal customer is, whether it's office workers rushing on their lunch break or students counting their pennies, you can design your whole business around what they actually need.
Okay, so you know who you're selling to and you know why they buy. But here's the catch. The market is always, always moving. Tastes change, trends come and go, priorities shift. Businesses that succeed don't just plant a flag and stand still. They learn how to ride the wave of what's happening right now.
Just think about the trends you see all around you. There's this massive push for healthy, clean eating, right? But at the exact same time, the convenience of fast food is as powerful as it's ever been. And then you have this wonderful revival of local, traditional comfort food. The real skill is figuring out what's just a passing fad versus what's a real, long-term shift in how people think. This is also about understanding demand. And demand isn't static. It's always changing. It ebbs and flows. Some of these changes are super predictable, like you're going to sell more ice cream when it's hot out. Others are really stable, like the daily need for staple foods. Knowing these patterns helps a business manage everything so much better and never miss a chance.
So what's the absolute best way to keep up with all this change? How do you stay on top of trends and make sure your product is still what people want even long after you've launched? It's actually really simple. You listen. Your customers are holding all the answers you'll ever need.
You can think of it as your own personal listening tour.
You can ask them what they think with surveys. You can talk to them in interviews to get the whole story. You can just watch how they act and what they buy. And in today's world, you absolutely 100% have to read what they're saying about you online. The goal isn't just to get feedback, it's to connect all those dots to find out what's really going on.
So let's pull all these pieces together. This isn't just a random collection of tips, it's a blueprint. It's the actual strategic plan that takes a business from just kind of guessing and hoping for the best to actively planning its own growth.
And why is this so important? Because a business that genuinely listens and understands its customers can make its products better and better over time. It builds an incredible sense of loyalty, the kind that makes people stick with you. It helps you avoid making huge, expensive mistakes. It's literally the difference between just surviving and actually thriving.
So if there's one thing to take away from all this, it's this. Success in business is not a game of chance. The winners are not just the lucky ones. They're detectives. They're listeners. They don't just guess what people want, they have a system for finding out. And they are always adapting based on what they learn.
And that leaves us with one final thought. Now that you've got the tools of a business detective, take a look around your own world. What are people talking about? What's that hidden need or that little frustration that no one seems to be fixing yet? The answer is out there, just waiting for someone to discover it.